What's good, peeps? Thanks as always for passing by the channel. Much appreciated. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. I was umming and ahhing about doing this video just because I think we as fans have got too involved in numbers, right? We now make videos about how many tickets have been sold, who's A side and B side, what they get paid, the kind of viewership they got in, rather than just focus on how good they are, right? That was what it was about back in the day, and it still should be. How good they are, who have they beat, what belt they've got, blah, blah, blah. Those are the things that are important. Like, I am a massive, I don't know, Nigel Benn, Prince Nassim Hamed fan. I didn't give a shit. Yes, I was younger, but I didn't care about the numbers. I mean, it didn't make any sense to me. I didn't really care how many people watched Mike Tyson. I just wanted to see Mike Tyson. But we've got involved in numbers. I think that is kind of who we are nowadays, right? I mean, the numbers, I guess, because of promoters are now available to us. Like Eddie Hearn always seems to talk about the numbers. I think it probably started with Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather always used to boast about his numbers. Conor McGregor then joined and talked about his numbers. So I think we as fans now kind of get involved when it comes to numbers. And I was waiting to do this video for a couple of days after Deontay Wilder's fight just to get real numbers, because I think some people spout out numbers, whether or not they're an AJ fan or a Wilder fan, you kind of get the wrong figure. So I was waiting to hear from a few reliable sources about what Deontay Wilder did, because I do think it's a bit important when it comes to Wilder, just because we are seeing, I think, a new Wilder now. This isn't the Wilder prior to the Luis Ortiz fight. This is a guy that is getting, I guess, more airtime on different channels. I think people are talking about Deontay Wilder now. And I also think that if you are the execs when it comes to Showtime, ESPN, whatever, and you've seen Wilder turn down that massive deal from DAZN, right? I'm guessing he's turned that down because you can pay him something similar to stay. So in order to pay him something similar to stay, he's got to do good numbers. He's got to do good numbers. It's as simple as that, right? He's got to do good numbers on free TV and when it comes to the big fight pay-per-view. If you are turning down, I don't know, again, we're led to believe $120 million from DAZN, then I'm guessing the management team, Shelley Finkel, Al Heyman, have got you a fucking good deal with Showtime. So the numbers have got to be good. I'm hearing that the number, let's just round it out now, peaked at 1 million views. Now, there's a few reasons for that. I think it could have got a bit higher, not drastically higher, but I still think it could have touched the 1.5, 1.6. Firstly, it ended in a round, right? A lot of people might have started tuning in round 2, round 3. That's how it works, right? It ended in a round. That doesn't help. I heard there was an NBA playoff game. That's obviously massive in America, and that doesn't help either. So those are two big factors, I think, that the number came in quite low. Now, it's still a good number. I think it's Showtime's highest number since Wilder Ortiz, right? Obviously, Fury versus Wilder was on pay-per-view, so it's a good number. But on the back of the publicity he got from the Fury, on the back of this stuff with DAZN and Wilder, and also being on a few high-profile TV platforms, I would have thought that the number would have been bigger. So I think the number is disappointing. I think it is disappointing. I would have expected it, again, to touch, I don't know, remember, it's not free TV, but it's like the equivalent of Sky Sports here. So I would have thought the number would have got around the 1.8 mark. I really would have. Yes, he needs a good dance partner, but we are talking about Deontay Wilder now. We are talking about a guy that's been the WBC heavyweight champion for a few years. We are talking about a guy that is very vocal. We are talking about a guy that has a fantastic knockout record. Why are people, I don't think, not tuning in? I don't like making the comparison with AJ, but I do think it's a fair comparison, especially now that Wilder considers himself the king of the division. And I don't think he means king by saying he's the best. I think he means king in terms of he is the bigger draw. If AJ's fight was on non-pay-per-view on Sky Sports against anybody, I mean, that number would be 2 million easy. In fact, I'd say 3 million. If it was on non-pay-per-view against, I'm trying to think, anyone, Hughie Fury, AJ versus Hughie Fury, non-pay-per-view, it could touch 3 million. That's the difference. So I am a bit shocked about that number. And what makes me even more shocked is that I think a couple of weeks before that, or was it a week before that, Jarrett Hurt defended his titles in a unification of sorts, because Julian The Rock Williams had the IBO title, I think. Guess how many numbers that peaked at? This was on what? Fox. It peaked at 2.2 million views. I think it was something like 2.18 million. Now, again, there are reasons why it might have peaked at that. The fight could have been going on. People could have been watching it and they start tweeting about it, right? You start tweeting about it, you start putting it on your social media, like, oh my God, this fight is awesome, and people then start tuning in. But regardless, those are two guys that I didn't think were a draw, if I'm honest with you. No one would have thought or told me that Jared Hurd is a draw or Julian Williams, but it peaked at 2.2 million. Deontay Wilder's peaked at about 1 million. Again, there are factors there. So this isn't an anti-Wilder video, but at this stage of his career, I expect him to be a bigger draw. It's just that simple. It's getting to the stage now where I just think it's just not a draw, right? And that's not a bad thing. Again, this is us fans getting too involved in all this stuff. He's a good boxer. He's the WBC heavyweight champion of the world. He's no worse than the third best heavyweight on this planet. But in terms of him being a draw, he just isn't. So it goes back to what I said in the beginning. I don't know how Showtime or ESPN, whoever's paying his pay packet, can justify paying him a crazy amount of money, anything close to what DAZN was paying, right? I don't see how the bigwigs can sit round a table and say, yeah, we can justify paying this guy 30 to 40 million, if that's what they're going to pay him. And I'm saying that number because if that's not his number, then he's crazy to turn down DAZN's offer, right? Because it's all about the money. It's nothing else. Not at this stage of his career. He's not a kid starting out. What's Wilder, 33, 34? There's not that long left. I mean, he looks like a fit guy. There's still time. But for you to turn down that, they must be offering something similar. And I don't know how they can offer something similar when those are your numbers. I mean, what else are you bringing to the table? It's all about the numbers, right? Everything's about the numbers. It's how they make their money through advertising revenue. It's all about numbers. So, yeah, disappointing. Again, I have waited a few days to get, I guess, reliable information about these numbers. And I am, again, hearing through, whether it be the app, whether it be watching it live on TV, the top figure was 1 million people watched it. What do you guys think? Let me know. Peace.